Hi students, today told the classes in botany. In botany, which topics going to discuss about in earlier in commonly called as plant breeding. In plant breeding techniques, today which topic is going to be discussed about is commonly called as biofortification. What are the definitions of biofortification? That is denoted like this. Bio means biological. Fortified or fortification means enrichment of nutrients. And commonly, biofortification is nothing but improve public health aspects. Because health is one of the important component for the people. If improve the public health aspect means what are the process will be going on in biological aspect is commonly called as breeding in crabs. If you are breeding crabs mean that thing is responsible for improve the public health aspect. For breeding in crab means what are the aspect to be increased commonly called as it is increase vitamins and protein content as well as increase amino acid and the healthier fat. To commonly say, what are the definitions of biofortifications commonly called as? Enrichment of nutrient by using the modern techniques commonly called as genetic engineering. So genetic engineering is a reason science. Using that science, you are responsible increase the nutrition quality in the cultivable crops. That is the main aspect of biofortification. In biofortification, how is breeding is carried out or how improvmental nutrition quality it must be enhanced. What are the process will be going to be undertaken or what are the objectives is responsible for increasing the nutrient quality. There are so many aspects are there. So for increasing vitamin content and quality. That is the first objectives of biofortification. Second thing, mineral content and quality Third thing, amino acid content and quality. Fourth one, oil content and quality. So these are the things is the main objectives of biofortification. In addition here, when the era of 2000, you are mad hybrid wheat. That hybrid wheat that had enhanced the amount of or twice the amount of amino acid, twice the amount of lysine, and twice the amount of tryptophan. So what do you say once again? When the year of 2000, you are made a hybrid wheat. That wheat that must be processed and that must be increased twice the amount of amino acid, lysine and tryptophan. That level, it is increased twice the amount when earlier cultivated the crop plants. In addition, the earlier wheat cannot produce such amino acid, lysine and tryptophan, but the recently cultivated the wheat variety, it must be enhanced or it is twice the amount of amino acid, lysine and tryptophan. In addition, one more like this. Atlas 66 is a kind of wheat variety. What is that? Atlas 66 is a kind of wheat variety that can be possess high amount of protein. Due to presence of high amount of protein, the Atlas 66 that can be used as a donor for cultivable crop varieties, because what are the crop varieties you got to be cultivated? There are kinds of cultivable crop units. You have to use it as receiving some kinds of gene or some kinds of strains. So that nature, Atlas 66 is a recent varieties of wheat that are generally used as a donor because it is give as donor cell. Using that donor component, you are utilized that local variety. You are enriched the vitamins content. That is second thing. Third thing, such a same methodology you are applied with the rice. By using that methodology in rice, which things to be enrichment is commonly called as iron rich rice, or also called fortified rice. So using such a same method, you are enhance or enrichment of nutrition quality in rice. That's a commonly called as iron rich rice or also called fortified rich rice. But That rice enhance the amount of regarding what iron. It is 5 times better than 5 times better than normal variety. In addition to be next one to be commonly called as in biofortification. Indian Agricultural Research Institutes that are situated in New Delhi. What do you say? Indian Agriculture Research Institute that are situated in New Delhi. That are released several vegetables. That vegetable that can be possess enrichment of vitamins and minerals. So that varieties of that's are recently released varieties of vegetable for Indian Agriculture Research Institute that can be possess high amount of vitamins as well as minerals. For example, vitamin A enriched vegetables what do you say? Vitamin A enriched vegetables such as carrot, pumpkin, then spinach. Likewise, vitamin C enriched vegetables such as first one bitter gourd, bathura, tomato. Those are the things commonly called as vitamin C enriched vegetable. Likewise, iron and calcium enriched vegetables such as the first one is commonly called as bathura, the second one is commonly called as spinach, the last one protein enriched vegetables such as commonly called as it is a beans. According to bean, to classified as various types, namely winged bean, then lab, third one French bean, Fourth one, Pisum peas or Pisum commonly called as is a peas. According peas, two types. Pisum sativum. So these are the things to developing enriched component: vitamin A, vitamin C, iron and calcium rich, and protein enriched vegetables. Can I go to the one more thing commonly called as sugar cane. Sugar cane is a cash crop. Those are cultivated in all over the world. In India, there are two types of crop only they can be cultivated. But all the crop is not suitable in all kinds of environment. For example, the first one, Saccharum barari is a variety of sugar cane. That's all. It is well cultivated in only in North India. Because the varieties, it is much suitable in North India alone. It is not cultivated in South India. Which variety? Saccharum barari. Okay. What are the characteristic features is found in Saccharum barari? It's containing low sugar content, but they can possess high yield. But that varieties is not suitable in South India. In South India, which crops is generally cultivated is commonly called as Saccharum officinarum. That is much suitable in South India. What are the characteristic features in regarding Saccharum officinarum that can be possessed? Thick stem and high sugar content. So what do they say in biofortification? That means the crossing between Saccharum barari and Saccharum officinarum. So after the crossing, the new crop varieties are developed or new varieties are developed. That new varieties that can be possessed high yield as well as high sugar content as well as thick stem. These characteristic plants now even cultivated into North India. Can I go to the next one? Is commonly called as plant breeding for resistance to insect and pest. So plant breeding for resistance. So with the help of plant breeding, you have to be development resistance in insect as well as pest. The insect resistance in the host crop plants may due to you have to be find or assessing in morphological character, then biochemical character Then physiological characteristic. So what did you say? Once again. So plant breeding for resistant insect and pest. The insect resistance in host crop plants. You have to be assess maybe morphological character, biochemical character, and the physiological characteristic feature. According morphological, which plants having that resistance is commonly called as hairy leaves. You know that some of the plants, the surface of leaves having hair-like structure. Which plants having that hairy leaf characters features are that occur? That are generally having a resistance against insect and pest. So, what are the example will be going to be hairy leaves? It must be process resistance commonly called as. For example, Jessites. Its resistance to regarding in maize. So, what is Jessites is commonly called as is a kinds of pest. That are generally affect in mice. The presence of that kinds of insect mean whose crop varieties is going to be lost is commonly called as mice. But the presence of plant breeding techniques, the mice that must be having that resistance against the Jessites. The second one, Cereal leaves beetle. These are commonly called as. So beetle is an insect. What is shape is commonly called as like cereal leaves. You know that many kinds of cereals. That cereals, what type of leaf structure is there? That like that insect is there. So that the disease commonly called as cereal leaves beetle. Which crop plants having that much resistance commonly called as wheat. In addition, in third one, the wheat variety, the stem is so commonly called as it is a solid stem. The presence of solid stem, there is no performance for sawfly. Sawfly is nothing but is a kind of insect. That sawfly, it's can't any perform in wheat. Why it's not any perform the wheat means the stem is so strong. So that nature it cannot penetrate, so that it cannot any infect is not possible. In which plant? Wheat. Which one is no performance? Because the solid stem. Which one is insect is commonly called as sawfly. Then fourth one, smoothness and nectarless. Maize. Smoothness and vectorless cotton, which are do not attract to any kinds of regarding what bollworms. Because of the nature, smoothness. The leaf or stem surface is commonly called as smooth. What are commonly called as nectarless? Because no secretory substances is not responsible to produce. That varieties of cotton it is always resistant to bollworm. The last one, high amount of aspartic acid, low amount of nitrogen and low amount of sugar, the kinds of plant which show resins. So which plant have that high aspartic acid, low amount of nitrogen and low amount of sugar cane is commonly called as example is maize. That maize, it is high resistance against stem borer. So can listed to some resistance variety. Can I table it? First one, crop. Second thing, variety. Third thing, insect and pest. What the first word is commonly called as brassica. It is also called rapeseed. How it is commonly called as? It is mustard. Some of the resistant insect and pest. The crop namely called as brassica. It is called rapeseed or mustard. What varieties will be going on commonly called as? Pusa Garau. Pusa Garau is highly insect resistant species, which one is commonly called as aphids. The second thing is commonly called as flood bean. What variety is commonly called as? Pusa Sem2, Pusa Sem3. What insect and persistent is commonly called as, affect is commonly called as aphids. Seeds and stem borer. Third one, Bindi or okra. What varieties to become is commonly called as Pusa Savani, Pusa A4. Which insect and pest to be commonly called as aphid? That's are commonly called as shoot borer and stem borer. Can I go to the last one session to be today? Modern plant breeding. What are the tools or what are the method it's highly applicable to plant breeding? That is commonly called as modern plant breeding techniques. That's our namely called as first one, genetic engineering. Second one, plant tissue culture. Third one, protoplasmic fusion or somatic hybridization. Fourth one, marking of gene. Fifth one, gene editing or gene modifying. These are the modern tools. It is highly helping to develop new varieties. With the help of tools, you developing new crop variety and also they can enrichments of nutrition quality. Without the tools, you cannot enrichment of nutrition quality in the cultivar crop. So based on the nature, the reason and the advanced technologies to develop what is the called new plant engineering techniques. The one more is also called new breeding techniques. Now go to explain about new breeding techniques. What are the main aim or what are the new objectives of new breeding techniques commonly called as? Increasing or accelerating development of crop varieties. For development of new varieties or for development of new crop varieties means what are the techniques or usually that can be followed that breeding techniques. So in the techniques, frequently or usually involving technique is commonly called as editing of genome. That editing of genome where it can be possible is commonly called as to modify DNA structure in a specific position within the plants. So what do you say? Editing the genome to modify the DNA structure of a specific position within the species. If you are modifying, it must be takes place mean you are developing new crop variety for generation to produce such kinds of varieties. How that it must be possible or how it can be to be developed? Some of the following methods that takes place. Or how that new varieties are manufactured. Some procedure must take place. The first method is commonly called as cutting or editing of genes. Usually applicable process. Which tools are generally used is commonly called as by adding and deletion. What are the adding and deletion? Addition of nucleotide. What deletion? Loss of nucleotide or loss of gene or loss of genome. That's a commonly called as cutting and editing of genome process, which are regularly involving by the tools is commonly called as adding and deletion. So cutting and editing of genome, which process or which tools are predominantly involved is commonly called as CRISPR. That's a CRISPR Cas9 to say. What are called clustered. R means regularly. I means interspaced. S means short. P denoted palindromic. R means repeat. Cas9 is nothing but Cas is a kind of enzyme. That enzyme usually associated with special protein. So once again I'd love to say what the CRISPR clustered, regularly, interspaced, short, palindromic repeats. Is called Cas9. Cas is nothing but it is an enzyme. It is associated special type of proteins. The second one, modern plant breeding techniques commonly called as genome editing. Introduce or altering in the base pairs. Genome editing or introduce or altering in the base pair regularly using oligonucleotide methods. So oligonucleotide methods which are frequently involving genome editing or introducing or alter in the base pair. Third one, altering the gene pair through identical species or closely related species. Also called introducing gene, some to say. So introducing gene through identical or closely related species. This is also called cisgenetics. The last one we are organizing gene only in gene alone, not in a structure of DNA. Are also called organizing pattern is always accompanied with only the gene and the genome alone, but the organism does not be involving in the structure of DNA. Those are things it can be considered as modern methods of plant breeding. Thank you.